Josh, welcome to Buffalo.
Thank
And
you.
I know you're just getting your career started, but of course, this is an organization you're leaving, which your dad has been an icon in. Does it make it more difficult to leave that organization now?
Yeah, I think getting to know a lot of the people and staff there over the last couple of years, it's a different franchise, but the same people, and that part's a little bit different. And saying goodbye to some of the guys is hard, but I'm really looking forward to the new opportunity.
Hey Josh, just what did it mean to be part of the first year in Utah too, and kind of your biggest takeaways in your own game with Mammoth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that I got an opportunity to be a part of that group and play in Utah in the first season. They gave me an opportunity to kind of to grow my game in certain areas and gave me a little bit of an opportunity to play there and it was a fun year, but it's on to the next now, and I'm looking forward to this upcoming season.
And quickly, you're just going with Michael Kessling as well, roommates, kind of good friends from Utah. How does that help, or does it help the transition at all for you guys to be doing this together?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, Cass and I are really close. We've lived together for 2 years in a row now, so we've got to know each other, and he's someone that I'll always lean on when things happen. So to go into this together is something really cool, and I think as a duo, we're excited to come to Buffalo and help the team out.
Hey Josh, Dom Tippett from the ABC affiliate here. Welcome to Buffalo.
Thanks.
We had asked Michael to talk a little bit about you, just knowing your guys' relationship and how you guys know each other as teammates. So I'll ask kind of the counterpoint to that is what can you tell us a little bit about what fans can expect when they see Michael on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to be excited. He's a 6'5" D-man that can skate really well and has a bomb for a shot. I think now that Buffalo has the two guys with the hardest shot record in the league together with Tage and Kess throughout this year, it's going to be fun to watch. But he's someone that I love his game. He skates well. He shoots the puck well. He loves to join the offense as a big D-man. He's someone who will stand up for his teammates. He's gotten in a lot of fights the past year, and not just versus anybody. He fights big boys, and it's something that you need on your team, and you got a little bit of trust in the back end when he's out there. So he's someone that I think right away that people are going to fall in love with just because of who he is as a person, but as a player, he's someone that he makes the game exciting, and when I'm on the bench watching him play or on the ice with him, I get excited when he comes up the ice. So I think they've seen little bits and pieces of him. He likes scoring in Buffalo, so hopefully he can carry that with him into next year.
And then touching back on the relationship thing you were just asked on, Michael also told us you guys have two cats and a dog together. It's wondering, could we get the names of your animals and then were like the two cats one of yours and then the dog was somebody else's and then you guys just became one big happy family under the roof? Explain to me a little bit how that came to be.
Yeah, so he has two cats, which we give him a hard time for all the time. But he's got Sox and Ranger, which are his two cats that they this year they stayed upstairs the whole year to stay away from the dogs. So I don't know if we're a happy family because the kids are separated all the time. But I got a big Saint Bernard poodle mix and named Hank, and he goes everywhere with me. So the three of them have kind of got to know each other a little bit, and I'm sure it'll make it feel a little bit more like home having all three of them together again.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey Josh, Rachel Lindsay from the Buffalo News. First question, what do you bring to the Buffalo Sabres and how would you describe your game and what role do you want to take with the Sabres?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that I can bring. Obviously, I've been around the game a long time and I've learned a ton from just being around the rink. So I want to bring a little bit of leadership element and bring something to the group that hard work is what's going to take to pay off at this level. And I think that's something I learned last year is how hard this league is and how hard you have to work. But I think last year I had to prove myself defensively to stick in the NHL and prove that I can play both ends of the ice. But there is an element of my game that I do think I can score at the next level, and I know I can. It's something that in the AHL I got an opportunity to do, and it's something that over time, over experience and playing more games, you kind of get that little element. It's something that this offseason, it was something that me and my group talked about is working on scoring goals and capitalizing on the opportunities that I had last year. So there's a huge focal point on producing, and I think that's something I want to bring as well this year. So just someone who's going to compete on both ends of the ice, and I do think at some point break through in the scoring department and help out the big guys.
And second, your father Shane is well known for being, a longtime skill player, one of the original Coyotes, but he's also a guy who wasn't afraid to get physical. I mean, do you have
Yeah.
that in your game as well? Are you Shane Doan's son?
Yeah, yeah. I
The ice?
think we laugh because there is an element of getting comfortable and finding that physicality, and I think that's something that I want to bring to the table is be a nuisance on the ice and go to the dirty areas, go to the hard areas. I think that's the most fun way to play hockey is being a little bit of a pest on the ice and finding yourself around the front of the net. He laughs all the time that there are a little bit of differences in our game, but the older I get, the more it kind of bounces back to being a similar player to him, and I think I take a ton of pride in being someone who's similar to him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Josh. Mike Harrington of the Buffalo News here. Well, on the subject of Shane Doan, what was his reaction to this news?
Yeah, he was really excited and he's someone who he's a nerd for hockey and he loves following the game and he's really happy with a lot of the pieces that are in Buffalo. Obviously, he's in Toronto, so he's seen the ranks and followed along closely to see kind of who's coming up for them. So he's excited for the opportunity and as soon as I called him to tell him, he's like, well, it's always good news and it's always fun to go somewhere new and to experience a different city and to get a chance to prove yourself to a new group of people. And there's parts of it where he's like, yeah, you're gonna lose some of your friends that you had, but you're gonna make new friends, and you're gonna go into a room that is gonna be excited to have you both. And I think he was big in supporting me through this, and he's really excited for the opportunity, and he thinks great things about everybody involved in Buffalo and the staff and the players moving forward.
What was your reaction? What did you learn about Tage Thompson at the Worlds?
I love Tage, and I think his game is great. He's a guy that's obviously in Arizona a little bit in the off season, so I get a chance to work with him. My first time seeing him skate was probably 4 years ago, and that was probably the welcome to the NHL moment for me is seeing how much skill he had for a big man and how far I got to go to get to that level. So he's someone that over the last couple months I've got to know really well, and we were par three golf partners in Denmark for the World Championships and took home a couple wins there. So we grew a lot together, and he's someone that I'm going to lean on a lot in the next couple months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Josh, I was laughing hearing you calling your dad a nerd about
Yeah.
hockey because I remember talking with your dad years ago and him saying the same thing about you. Um, what did you learn growing up in locker room, like growing up in that Coyotes locker room for those years and just being around the guys? What were you able to absorb in that time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is how much more successful the team was when the guys got along and there was a good group involved and that it takes everybody if you want to win. And that's something that the Coyotes had their struggles and had their good years and bounced around a little bit. And you learn a ton about what kind of gave them success sometimes and what didn't give them success. But then you just learn from guys around the rink on how to be a good person and how to be a good teammate. And then at the end of the day, how hard you have to work. If you really want it, it takes a lot. And you saw the extra miles the guys had put in during the season, and you see that little things and guys that it took a while to kind of find their game. And it is something that it helped me a ton, and it was an advantage I had as a kid is seeing that kind of side of the game, and that's something that I like to kind of bring with me wherever I go. So it was a huge blessing to have that, and I learned a ton as a kid.
And one more, what were you able to gain from that experience at Worlds in all? Because it's such a different tournament. It's obviously different ice size and all that, but the competition level is really intense for a tournament that a lot of people over here don't really understand.
Yeah, it was I think the first huge for my confidence is going over there and practicing and playing with some of those guys and seeing how close you are in all aspects of your game to some of these big name guys. So that part was fun, and then learning how to win. Like you can't learn how to win anywhere unless you're actually doing it. So I think that was huge for our group, and there's a lot of young guys in that group, and now there's a couple Buffalo guys on that group. So as a group, we learned what it took and how hard those games were, and I couldn't have been happier for a guy like Tage to score the game-winning goal, and you could see what it meant to him when that puck went in the net. So as a group, I think you learn how hard it is to win, but you also kind of learn how you have to play in those games to get the job done.
Who's the better golfer, you or Tage?
The Tage is going to kill me, but I think Kess is the better of the three of us, and then Tage, and then probably me.
Okay. Thanks so much, Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Josh. John Worrell with the Associated Press.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good, and you look good too. Welcome to Buffalo. You just talked about the struggles and the experiences that you saw and kind of like fed upon in Arizona and Utah. What are the challenges and maybe the opportunities that come with, going to a team that is trying to find its way?
Yeah, I think coming in and trying to help find a solution is always fun because there's a way to go up and there's a way to go down, obviously. And I think the group here is finding its way and going in an upwards direction. I mean, you look at kind of where Arizona was and how you got to see that for a little bit. And I think it's the same, but not the same with there is an element of this group wants to win and pay money to win, and the ownership wants to win here, where Arizona lost a little bit of their ownership for a while with what they're doing. So you take what you can from your experiences around the game and where you've been in the past. I think I take experiences from the world championships and junior and college with how to build a right team and a winning team. So it's one of those things where I think this group is going in the right direction. They have the right guys to go in that direction, and it might be one or two pieces or a couple more to fix that. And I think that's what they're trying to do.
And lastly, what's it like for you and Michael to be coming into a new group? Not as saviors in any sense of the word, but to be part of that solution. What is the motivation and the challenge that you might face?
Yeah, I think as a duo, we have to kind of wear it as a badge of honor that they wanted to bring us in to help this group win. And it's one of those things where you're right. We're not going to come in and be saviors, but we can come in and help the team where we can and help the team grow in the direction that it's trying to go. So I think the challenge is showing up and being ready to go right away and bring a positive and energetic mindset from the get-go that it's going to be a long season. And I think the two of us are guys that have a ton of fun playing hockey, and we can bring that element to the group in the dog days of the year that we're going to kind of help push through and get a couple more wins when times kind of slip. So it's one of those things where I think this group is way closer to making the playoffs than maybe given credit for the last couple of years. And I'm excited to be a part of hopefully a group that can push hard this year.
Good stuff, Josh. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Josh. I guess you were passed over the first time in the draft, and then you became a very high pick. Can you kind of explain just what you felt in 2020 and how you kind of channeled that disappointment and what happened over that next year to make you, a second round pick, and how I guess everything ended up all right and it became a positive?
Yeah, I think I was a extremely late bloomer in finding my way, and that was part of it was getting used to the USHL and getting a kind of sniff of what the game's like, and then allowing myself to reassess what I need to do to be successful and taking a step back with people that I trust and asking them what I need to work on, and then coming back and applying it the following year and having a lot of success. I think that's kind of been how my career's kind of gone, where I then went to the AHL, and my first couple of games there after college were okay, but then the next year continue to grow and continue to learn the league. And I think it's one of those stories where yeah, it's hockey can be really hard at times, and you can get kind of put down, but it's a long way to go, and it's a fun process, and that's something I enjoy is sitting back in the summertime and reassessing what I need to work on and taking my game to the next level. So it's probably the thing that helped me the most was getting undrafted my first year and having to learn from all that and be disappointed with the process and where it was going and kind of bounce back.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, Matt Fairburn from The Athletic. You mentioned your favorite way to play is, kind of being a pest and getting to those hard areas. And Michael mentioned that, you've got one of the best sticks when it comes to stripping pucks and, getting in on the forecheck. I'm just curious how you developed that part of your game, being a forechecker, because it seems like, especially last year, it really took off.
Yeah, I think that goes along with my year in Chicago. The first year didn't have a ton of success, and I wasn't up to speed at that point. I wasn't strong enough to kind of compete at a physical and skating level. So I learned how to knock pucks down and strip guys and create offense through that. And then as I kind of grew and got stronger and faster, it became almost like a skill to have and turn pucks over and knock pucks down and create offense. I think that's something I want to focus on this year, is once I do make those plays is building off it and turning it into offense. But it's in my opinion, one of the most sacrificial things you can do as a forechecker is sometimes you might not get the puck back and it might not be yours, but they're going to force a turnover to your line mates, and it's going to create separation for them. So sometimes you got to go into pucks kind of just giving yourself up for your group, and that's what kind of led to my success at the end of the year. This year was, as a line, we contributed a lot of chances just because it was something that you went in there and disrupted the play, and your line mates came in, and that makes you a fun player to play with. So it's I mean, at the end of the day, all hard work and just sticking your nose in there, but it can help your line mates and yourself with success.
What does your off season look like as far as training, things you're working on, things like that?
Yeah, so this is one of the first years where I think size is not a huge focal point. Obviously, I want to get bigger and stronger, but the past has been hard on just making sure I gain weight and get to a spot where I'm ready to play at the NHL. Now it is about focusing on the small area skill and learning and putting the puck and getting confidence in putting the puck in the net is something huge for me. But at the same time, it's the off season is where you put the work in for the season to go along well. And it's something that as a kid I was taught that this is when you work hard so that it pays off during the season. So my off season consists of a lot of early mornings and and long days in the gym and on the track running and shooting pucks. So I look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing kind of how it pays off at the end of the summer.
Cool. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think we're all set unless there's any other questions for Josh. Thank you everybody for your time, and thank you, Josh, for taking a bit of time to answer some questions this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Got it if I want it.